in the medical profession, there's a long history going way back to the Hippocratic Oath that a doctor has to kind of begin by saying, don't do harm in what the doctor does. That's at least a tacit admission that there's harm in the air and that doctors are doing it. And so you better be super careful before you push a policy, a medication, an operation. This apparently didn't carry over from the medical profession to the economics profession?
Oh, so much to be said here, Rick. First, the economics profession is the only profession I'm aware of that resisted any effort to introduce a field of professional ethics where these kinds of issues could be debated. So we have in medicine, of course, there's a long tradition of physicians and ethicists debating what does it mean to be an ethical physician in a world where you can kill the patient. There's a concept called iatrogenic harm, physician-induced harm. In economics, we don't have the tradition. We have no professional ethics. There's no place to talk about these things. We don't even have a word to describe economist-induced harm. So in the book, I offer one, econogenic harm, economist-induced harm. But the second point I'll make, and there's much more to be said, which I explore in the book. The American Economic Association, the most important association in the world for economists, was created in 1885. Why was it created? Because economists wanted more influence in the world. There's this belief that a world in which economists have a lot of influence will be better than a world where economists have less influence. And so the whole movement, starting in 1885 up to today, is to enhance the influence of economists. One way to do that is by presenting the profession as being able to solve all kinds of social problems without inducing all kinds of harms. I think a serious reckoning with the harm that we do in economics, it is feared, would undermine our authority and our influence, and that is something our profession is desperate to prevent. My view is, by the way, that we have far too much influence. Why do I say that? Because we have taken it upon ourselves to be the harm accountants, to decide what policy is going to benefit what people and harm what people, and therefore what policies should we advocate and which policies should we not advocate. It's a paternalistic ethos where we're the ones that think we should make the decisions. Who's excluded from this conversation? The people whose lives are about to be devastated by the policies that we advocate. The medical profession moved away from paternalism in the 1970s in response to the patient rights movement. So today, first do no harm is no longer the dominant ethic. The dominant ethic in medical ethics is the autonomy and integrity of the patient. In economics, we're still operating in 19th century ethics where we know best. This is, for me, an ethical outrage. There's a notion that in economics that the only ethical question that's worth discussing is conflict of interest. So if you're being funded by, a financial firm to do research, you should put a little footnote in and saying funding for this came from this bank or whatever. But of course, that's not even that's an ethical question. But the big ethical questions are the ones you and I have just been discussing. The massive influence that economists have in the world that can lead to massive harm. And I don't just mean an economic policy might lose someone to lose their job temporarily. I mean the destruction of lives, the destruction of communities. That's what professional ethics and economics should be about.